On a day when Anna Hazare got another resounding response and Baba Ramdev's fast began to look a little political, and on a day when Chidambaram called Baba Ramdev a person propped up by the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, our question is a narrow section in India against Anna type fasts because it questions the status quo? Let's cut the chase. Are there interest groups here who are threatened by these fasts? Suhel Seth from London. Prasoon Joshi is with me in our studios in Mumbai. And Sanjay Kaul is president of People's Action. We have three non-political voices on top of News Hour tonight. The political debate will happen a little later. Prasoon, what do you think? Do you think Anna Hazare says, I'm going to have another fast on the 16th? Is that necessary?
Oh, I think what is important to understand is that where are these voices coming from and what is the reason these voices are coming. Anna Hazare is one clean voice people think stands for what they wanted to say for all this while. The fact that so many people, again, after Baba Ramdev thing has happened, again you saw so much of support. The fact is people are fed up. People do, and it is not. I think I'm surprised the way government is actually reacting to this, because this is not singling out a government. The people are actually frustrated with corruption altogether as a concept. It's so deep-seated in their lives that they want, some action taken against it. It is an inflection point, and it is.
But does it give us a real
coincidence that this government is facing that inflection point? Any government at this juncture, because the way media is growing in our country, the way people are becoming aware and masses are getting aware of and getting empowered every day, bit by bit, they are voicing. The voices are coming up, and I think we are focusing too much of energy on the way the fasting is done, the way the expression is done. I think are these people wrong in asking for some measures to be taken against corruption or not? Okay. Are we in sync with that as a society or not? Okay,
before I go to Suhel, let me get another point of view. Sanjay, another fast on the 16th. You're having another fast on the 16th. You'd also have talks with the government. So if negotiations with the government and pressure being built through these kind of fasts on the outside, is there a strategy in this? Is it necessary?
Well, perfect strategy actually. I mean, if anybody would tell you or talk to you about strategy for negotiations, this is exactly how it happens. You cannot negotiate unless you put enough pressure, and unless there is pressure, they would not negotiate. So I think the debate about whether there should be a fast or not, or whether the methodology of the pressure that you create a cause or try to attempt to create a cause should not be the center of the debate. The debate is not about how, and I agree with Prasoon on that, should not be about how they do this or how they protest or who protests, in fact. I also want to pick up that line or that word that Prasoon used about Anna Hazare being a clean person. And I think even that is unnecessary. That qualification is irrelevant to the cause. And define clean. Who is clean? Are you suggesting to say that a criminal cannot expect justice because he was a criminal? So as far as I'm concerned, whether it's Baba Ramdev, whether it's Anna Hazare, whether it's X, Y or Z, anybody who steps up to the platform and demands what is right and just and logical expects to be treated exactly the same way as you would any other person.
Okay, we've opened up the debate. Suhel, why then the focus on the method and not the issue? On the individual and not the issue?
Okay, let me now expand the logic a bit. I agree with what both Prasoon and Sanjay have said, primarily on the cause. The cause is absolutely right. People feel for it. But because of the over-populism, either through media or through other means, what you're doing is you're trivializing the sanctity of a fast. People are saying, oh my God, there's yet another fast, there's yet another hunger strike. It's not about Anna Hazare, it's not about Ramdev. There is no doubt in any human being's mind in India that corruption must be addressed. But the methodologies are equally important for corruption in this manner not to be treated as trivia or farcical. So that's point number one. Point number two, people leading a movement, that's very important. It is incorrect to say that the individual leading the movement is unimportant. Would you have gone on a hunger strike if Lalu Yadav was leading this movement, who himself has been indicted for corruption? The answer is no. The point I'm making, Arnab, is the difference between Anna Hazare and Ramdev is that Anna Hazare has fired the imagination of a of a secular, of a non-political,
so are people feeling threatened by that?
Mass of people.
Are people feeling threatened by that? Because it will
no,
upset the status quo.
Look, let me tell you, the status quo is and has been upset already. Now the status quo has many ramifications. No, I don't know if it's a good thing. I'm not a soothsayer. But let me tell you the dangers. The dangers are you will subvert parliamentary legislation. You will have political parties outsourcing their roles to individuals.
How?
That's right.
How does Anna Hazare subvert democracy when he's part of a drafting committee for a bill that will eventually go to parliament?
So you've exactly hit the nail on the head. If Anna Hazare had not agreed to be part of civil society's representation at the Jan Lokpal drafting committee, then perhaps the answer is yes. When you're part of the system, then to step out when it suits you to say that I will go on another fast.
No, but if it's stalled, what alternative does he have?
The issue.
If it's stalled, what alternative does he have?
I'll give you the alternative. I
want Prasoon wants to respond to you as well.
Anna Hazare could
only want to say
and should force the government, or he should resign from the panel.
One second. That is an ideal situation for the government. But why should Anna Hazare do that? Prasoon Joshi is responding. Yes.
No, I wanted to respond to what Suhel was saying earlier. That I think we can't have sophistication in expression all the time. You can't have that, you should be doing it. This is a very organic society. The corruption has happened very organically. There was no sophistication in corruption when it happened in our society. Why are you expecting the expression to have sophistication? Why are you expecting the orderly fashion in which the expression should be done or civil society should function? It is organically going to manifest its anger or frustration in various ways. No. One of the ways is what Anna Hazare is doing.
No, and because,
and I'm saying that why are we expecting that to happen? It is why we're not expecting that there is a real angst in the society. And the angst will manifest itself in various ways which we might not like. And this is the challenge in front of this government today. Because that is an intricate thing to deal with. On one hand, you have to deal with a Baba Ramdev kind of expression. On one other hand, you have to deal with an expression which Anna Hazare has. And that, if you can't deal with that, that is going to cost you a lot.
The point here is, Suhel, and I want Sanjay Kaul to come on this. It's quite apparent that there is a section, and there is predominantly this section is in Lutyens, Delhi, and this section wants to talk about the method. Please don't talk about the issue. If you tell them, Sanjay, if you tell this group that eventually it is about bringing the Prime Minister under the ambit of the Lokpal Bill, which, by the way, the Law Minister of India, current Law Minister of India was for till he changed his mind and went with what the group of ministers is now saying. If you tell them the issue is that, they'll say, no, that's not the issue. Look at the person. Look at the method. Look at whether fast should happen or not.
No.
No, but that's exactly, you can say no, Suhel, but that's exactly the point here. But Sanjay.
No, you see, your line earlier was that this is basically a narrow audience which has a problem, and I think that defines it. Let's just keep it like that. First, it's narrow, which means it's a very small, insignificant part. The other is they are under attack. So it's a normal reaction and a response, basically, to being attacked. This regime is not used to being attacked. And that's exactly what they're feeling now. The responses, as you have seen, is getting worse and worse. It's getting panicky. They're reacting wrongly. They are making mistakes one after the other. And even as their mistakes are being committed or in the process of being committed, we have scams after scams being unearthed. You can understand the duality of the situation. You can understand the two things on their mind. They want to impose authority. They want to show who's in charge. They want to try and negotiate. They want to keep people happy. And what you have is basically a confused government at the point in time.